All right, let's get right into it. The Tata Sierra. This is a car that has just been making so much noise online, and you can totally see why. It's got this legendary name, a brand new look that's super bold, and a feature list that feels a mile long. But it's also a car that's causing a whole lot of confusion and some really, really strong opinions. Is it this premium game changer we've been waiting for, or is it maybe a beautiful but kind of flawed experiment? Well, today we're going to break down a really detailed review to figure out what's really going on.
So the very first thing we got to clear up is the price. You've probably seen videos with titles screaming about an 11.49 lakh starting price. Yeah, that's pure clickbait. The reality, as you can see here, is that the top-of-the-line turbo petrol model, that's going to cost you around 25 lakhs on the road in Mumbai. That is more than double the number you first saw, and it puts the Sierra into a completely different ballpark.
Okay, so with that 25 lakh price tag in mind, what are you actually getting for all that money? Is it worth it? To figure that out, we have to look past the fancy ads and get into what it's actually like to live with this car. So we're going to break down the case against it, and then the case for it, piece by piece.
Let's start with the negatives. And listen, these aren't just little quirks or nitpicks. For a lot of people thinking of buying this car, these could be straight-up deal breakers, starting with the very basics of how the car is put together.
The biggest issue mentioned in the review is this theme of inconsistency. We're talking panel gaps you can see both inside and outside the car, a general fit and finish that just feels like it needs more attention, and even paddle shifters that sometimes just don't feel like working. And on top of that, there's this known history of little electronic gremlins with new, feature-heavy cars from the brand.
And this quote just perfectly captures the problem. This isn't some hypothetical thing. During the actual review, in a car with less than 300 kilometers driven, the huge panoramic sunroof just wouldn't open. Not with the button, not with his voice, nothing. I mean, can you imagine spending 25 lakhs and a massive selling feature is just dead on arrival?
You can just feel the sarcasm dripping from this quote, right? But it highlights a really frustrating and real problem. The reviewer points out that just like other cars he's tested from the brand, this brand new Sierra was already drifting to the left. That means it had an alignment issue straight from the factory. That's just a basic thing you don't expect to be wrong on in a new car. And then you've got the daily annoyances, the things that are just built into the design. For the reviewer, his knees were always bumping into the center console and the door. The touch buttons can be tricky to use. All that shiny piano black plastic is a total magnet for fingerprints and scratches, and the button for the ventilated seats, it's hidden where you can't even see it. It's just a whole list of little things that really add up.
So here's the kicker. After you list out all of those issues, the quality control, the design flaws, we come back to the price. The top-end Sierra is about 1.75 lakhs more expensive than its biggest rival, the Kia Seltos, which has been around for a while. That's a pretty bold move, charging a premium when some of the fundamentals seem a bit shaky.
Okay, that was a pretty rough list of negatives, I know. But remember, we called this a car of contradictions. So now let's flip the script, because for all of its faults, the Sierra does some things that are absolutely brilliant. So brilliant, you might actually be willing to overlook all the bad stuff. First things first, just look at it. The Sierra has this incredible road presence. You can't deny it. It's the tallest and widest car in its class. It's got the longest wheelbase, and the top models ride on these huge 19-inch wheels. Add in the flush door handles and those cool light-up animations. Yeah, this thing is a serious head-turner. And the inside is just as impressive. This is really where the Sierra tries to earn that high price tag. It is loaded with features you just don't find anywhere else in this segment. Things like a memory driver's seat, a big 12.3-inch screen just for the passenger that you can plug a gaming controller into, a tailgate that opens with a gesture, and this amazing 12-speaker JBL sound system. It really does feel like you're sitting in the future.
But hey, it's not all about the gadgets. A core strength for Tata has always been how their cars feel on the road, and the Sierra absolutely nails this. The reviewer is super clear on this point. The fundamental ride and handling are just fantastic. This is that solid, tough feel you expect.
And here's how they do it. The top models have something called frequency-dependent dampers. All that means is the car just glides over bumps at high speeds. For such a tall car, it doesn't lean too much in corners, the brakes feel really strong, and you have this great commanding view of the road. It just feels solid and, honestly, fun to drive. And now we get to what might be its biggest selling point. If you ever drive with people in the back, this is what might just win you over. The experience for the rear passengers is, and this is a direct quote from the reviewer, phenomenal. Seriously, the amount of space back there is incredible. Tons of knee room, leg room, even foot room. The seats themselves can recline. You get a super powerful 65-watt USB-C charger for your laptops and phones, and that giant sunroof makes the whole cabin feel so open and airy. It is a genuinely amazing place to be a passenger. So we've got some major pros and some pretty major cons. But now we get to the most confusing part of this whole review, the part that brings us back to that word inconsistency. And it's all about the performance of that turbo petrol engine. And this table just lays out the whole puzzle. When the reviewer first tested the car in Chandigarh, it did 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in a pretty quick 9.7 seconds. But later, when he was testing this new car in Mumbai, it was way slower, taking almost 12 seconds. Now that is a huge, noticeable difference from the exact same engine. And that's the question that just stumped the reviewer. What's going on here? Was it just something wrong with this one particular car? Was that first car maybe a special media vehicle? Or is it something a little more worrying about the engine itself? And here's his final take on it. He suspects that this brand new turbo petrol engine might not be totally sorted out yet, that it's just, in his words, not market ready, and it probably needs more testing to get that consistent performance in every single car. And that, for a new engine, is a pretty serious concern. So, where does all of this leave us? You've got a car with a design that'll snap necks and features that are best in class on one side, and on the other, you've got real questions about quality control and performance. It really just boils down to what you care about most when you're buying a car. This slide sums it all up perfectly. This is the conflict at the heart of the Sierra. For every amazing thing you get, that incredible design, all those features, the fantastic comfort, you're also taking a risk. A risk on inconsistent quality, potential unreliability, those daily frustrations, and all for a premium price. It's the ultimate trade-off. Now, you won't believe this, but after everything, the reviewer still calls this the second best Tata car ever, right behind the legendary Safari Storm. That's how good the good parts are. But it comes with a huge but. He says he just hopes the service centers are ready to give the kind of premium experience that owners of this car are going to expect and probably need. And that leaves us with the final question. And this one's really for you to think about. When it's your own hard-earned money on the line, what's more important? Do you go for the car that makes a statement, the one that wows you with its looks and its tech? Or do you play it safe and go with something that has a proven track record of being reliable? With the new Tata Sierra, that's the choice you have to make.